Hello and welcome to Rhapsody in 5 minutes. Today we talk about requirements traceability in Rhapsody and how you can filter the requirements in Rhapsody based on your criteria. Requirements can be represented and traced in Rhapsody in many ways, in diagrams, tables, browsers and others. And the question might occur how to quickly identify and see only those requirements that have no traceability. Let's take a look on the model that I'm going to use to show you the concept. One way to trace requirements is, for example, a requirements diagram like this one, or any other diagram. There are also many kinds of traces available to perform such traceability. Here, for example, I'm using a satisfy dependency to show that this model element, my use case, satisfies these requirements. Another way to view and analyze traceabilities are matrices, where you get a crisp overview to analyze any kind of relationship. This matrix is not only representative, it's also constructive. Inside the matrix you can perform traceability for one or even more elements at the same time. You can build your own matrix very easily. In the matrix layout you define from which element to which other element you want to show what kind of relation. You could use predefined element types like shown here, but you could also define your own filters called queries. Let's create such a query. But before we have to define its rule. In this diagram I visualize that this use case is satisfying a couple of requirements by having a satisfy dependency going from the model element to the requirement. If we agree to search and filter requirements that do not have such an incoming relationship, then we have our rule. And we can express this rule in a query to search for all unsatisfied, untraced requirements. So let's do it and add one query. So first we give a meaningful name, and then in the features dialog of the query we are going to define the search criteria that this query shall perform. In the filter section we select the element type we want to search for. In this case it's a requirement, but we don't want all requirements. We only want to have requirements to have no reference, so I specify less than one incoming relation of type dependency with the stereotype satisfy. That's it. Let's give our query a try. Simple double clicking on it, et voila, here it is, the result. We see all requirements in the list except requirements 15, 17 and 19 because they have, as you can see in the diagram, an incoming dependency. Let's customize our matrix to only show the unsatisfied requirements. We can keep our use case in the from element types as it is, but in the to element type, instead of taking a simple requirement, we select our query, which defines our criteria for filtering. That's it. When I now click or double click on the matrix view, then I only see what I want to see, my unsatisfied requirements. Here I can add a couple of dependencies between use cases and requirements. And when I double click again on the view, Rhapsody generates the matrix and the satisfied requirements will disappear. That's pretty cool. But the coolest thing comes now. The query that we just have defined is available as a selection. So when we select in my browser the predefined query, then I see in the browser only those elements that fit to my query. In our case, we see all unsatisfied requirements. That's all for now. Thanks a lot for visiting. All the best and goodbye.